Hi everyone, my name is Joy and I'll be showing how I paint trees with watercolor. I'm using watercolor paper that I cut in half. This is Arch's cold pressed watercolor paper. If you don't have this, you can use mixed media paper. If you don't have this either, you can use cardstock or some other thick paper. I'm using pencil to make an outline for the tree. It just needs the general shape of the tree to guide you when you paint. Afterwards, I lightly erase the sketch so it's not visible in the painting. You can leave the sketch if it'll help you know where to paint. I have a jar of water and I'll be using 3 different colors. I'm going to use 3 brushes. The first one is actually an awful brush. I'm not sure where I even got it from, but as you can see the ends are frayed, it doesn't hold its shape, and it's just overall pretty bad. I found a way to make use of it still, so never throw away your old art supplies. The second brush is a great watercolor brush. As you can see, the hairs are very smooth, and the last one is also smooth but smaller in size. You don't need a watercolor brush specifically for painting this painting. Instead, you can use old makeup brushes. I'm using my bad brush and using a basic green color. What I do is scrub against the paper to make the rough leaves of the tree. Something else I do is spread the hairs of the brush to get a similar effect. So I'll just continue this scrubbing method for the whole tree. You'll notice that I'm leaving some empty spaces in the body of the tree. I'll come back to this later near the final part. Now that that's done, I'll add some depth with shading. I could just use the dark green watercolor I have, but if you don't have many different colors, what I just do is add blue. I wouldn't darken colors using black because it can make the shading seem a little flat. I'm starting 3/4 of the way down the tree and putting some color down and start scrubbing again. As I make my way up the tree, you'll notice I'm not painting in some spaces to show that there's less shadow in those spots. The second layer of shading I'm doing is just like the first one, except I'm adding brown to the green and blue. If you have a primary color palette, you can add red and get the same effect. I'm using my better brush now, and you'll notice that my strokes are really smooth. So to get a more texturized effect from this brush, I'm spreading the bristles. With this better brush, I'm not using the scrubbing method because it can destroy the brush. So I only scrub with the brushes that are already messed up. I'm putting most of the shading in the bottom half of the tree and then very few spots near the top. Finally, I'm taking my larger smooth brush, grabbing some brown and mixing a little blue. It's my preference to add blue to things, but you can just use brown. If you have a primary color palette, you can mix red, yellow, and blue to get brown. I make one broad stroke down for the trunk and paint some branches in the empty spaces of the tree. That's pretty much it, and I hope you all found this helpful. Thanks!